What's up everyone? In this week's guitar lesson we are looking at Twist and Shout by the Beatles. Now this song is a 3-chord song. We love 3-chord songs here, it makes guitar so much easier. So this song has a D chord, a G chord and also A chord in it. I'm going to be playing it on electric. If you've got an acoustic guitar it's exactly the same and it's going to sound just as good. So enough chatting about this song, we're going to delve right into it. So the very first chord we're going to be looking at is a D chord. So to play this D chord, we'll place our first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, second finger on the 2nd fret of the high E string, and then your third finger will be on the 3rd fret of the B string. We're going to strum from the D string downwards. So for this chord, we're going to do 2 downstrokes to start off with. Okay, so that's one after the other. So we've got 1, 2. Then we're going to be switching to a G major chord. So our middle finger will be on the 3rd fret of the low E. First finger will be on the 2nd fret of the A. And then we got our 3rd and our little finger on the 3rd fret of the B and the high E string. We strum all the strings. For this chord, again, we're just going to do those 2 downstrokes. So if we practice that change from the D to the G, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the very last chord in our progression is an A major chord. So for the A major, I bar my first finger, but you can either use your 3 fingers, your 1st, your 2nd, and your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the D, G, and B string. Or you can rearrange it slightly and use your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then your 1st finger will be on the 2nd fret of the G, your 3rd finger will be tucked behind on the 3rd fret of the B string. We're strumming from the A string downwards, so we have got. So for the A major chord, we're going to play it 8 times. We're just going to do 1 downstroke, leave a little bit of a pause, and then do 7 quicker downstrokes. So it'll sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we put that together with the rest of our progression, so remember we've got 2 downstrokes on the D, 2 downstrokes on the G, and then we got 8 downstrokes on the A with a little pause between the 1st and the 2nd. So if we play this chord progression, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the important thing to think about here is the D to G progression may be a bit tricky. Quick little tip of that though is our 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string. That can stay rooted there when we move to our G chord. Okay, that 3rd finger doesn't move. And then what we can do is just place our little finger behind on the 3rd fret of the high E. Obviously we've still got our 2 fingers here that kind of unload onto the 2nd fret of the A string and the 3rd fret of the low E. So if I do that change really slow, so watch the 3rd finger. Okay, it's going to stay exactly where it is, makes changing between the chords much quicker. So let's run through this progression once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you have that chord progression down with the downstrokes, we can then add a strumming pattern to it. So the strumming pattern for this song is on the D major chord. We're going to go down, down, up, down, down, up on the D, down, down, up on the D. And then we're going to move to our G major chord and we're just going to do a down, up. Okay, so for the D, we've got down, down, up, to our G, down, up. And then this is a little bit of an odd bit of the strumming pattern. So when we go to our A major chord, we're going to start with an upstroke this time. So that is slightly unusual because obviously on the G we finish with an upstroke and then we're going straight to an upstroke again on the A string. So when we get to our A chord, we've got that upstroke. So that's our very first note. So we've got 7 more times that we need to play this chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So it'll be up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And again, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So if we pull it together with the rest of the progression, so we got on our D, down, down, up, down, down, up. To our G, down, up. Then to our A major, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Similar to the first time that we played it with the downstrokes, remember we've got that little pause between the first and the second time that we play the A major chord. So let's play this chord progression through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once more. What I recommend you do with this strumming is make sure your right hand's nice and loose, make sure your wrist is working for your strumming. And really make sure you get that A major chord down correctly. Remember the gap between the first and the second, it's really important, otherwise it will sound like this. Which doesn't quite sound right, that gap is really important. So the only bit that is left of this song is an A major and it just builds up. Essentially we play it 8 times, 6 times. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to play it for you and hopefully it just becomes a bit clearer. So we've got So the way I did that is after 8 times of playing that chord, I kind of hit it a bit harder. Let me know that I played it 8 times once. So I need to play it 8 times another 5. Okay, so in this song, it's the bit where it goes, So essentially, an easier way of thinking about it is when you hear that R bit, you're just playing that A. We're shaking up, baby, now, shaking up, baby. And it's really as simple as that for the R bit. You just do some downstrokes on that A chord. I added in a gap again on my first downstroke, so I went. You can do that for each of the 6 times. It's really up to you, or you can just do the normal down strums. That is Twist and Shout by the Beatles. So this is a really easy beginner's version. 3 chords. You can either choose to do the downstroke method. Once you've got that under your fingers and in your wrist, then you can add a strumming pattern into it. Hope this lesson has been helpful. I will catch you next week.